Hey guys, this is the Prince of Macedon, and I'm doing a Realm Total War multiplayer battle. This is an Egypt versus Carthage battle. I command the Egyptians, and my opponent is Avalanche, in command of the Carthaginians. Let's go look at my army first. You can see I have 2 squadrons of Egyptian chariot archers. And obviously I'm kidding, I don't use chariots in my battles, you guys know that. So I'm going to send my chariots off the battlefield. So there they go. Alright, let's go look at the troops that I do have left. On the front ranks I have 6 units of Nile Spearmen, and I have my general leading them. There he is with his ridiculous helmet. And then right there that just crossed the screen I have 4 units of bowmen. In the very back I have 6 squadrons of desert cavalry. Alright, let's go look at Avalanche's Carthaginian army. On the front ranks he has, I think 5 or 6 units of slingers. Behind them he has 5 units of Sacred Band spearmen. And in the very back he has 4 squadrons of the Sacred Band cavalry. And his general is leading them. There he is. Looks kind of like Russell Crowe. Alright, so in the very back you can see that my chariots have finally left the battlefield. So now we can go about the business of killing each other. Alright. By the way, I didn't notice the time of the day of the battle, so my dudes were left on flaming mode. And when I realized that mistake, I switched them back to the regular missile mode. So here we go. We're gonna bombard the enemy slingers here. Alright, and my general is going to lead the Nile Spearmen forwards here. And I guess the Carthaginian slingers were scared because of my guy's ridiculous helmet. Oh, and by the way, you have to excuse my voice. I was talking for like 5 hours yesterday, so I kind of lost my voice. Alright. So, my opponent's Avalanche, as you guys know. And by the way, an avalanche is not a laughing business. I was watching this video on YouTube where the skier was wearing a helmet with a camera, and he went through an avalanche, and that was a very scary thing to see. He was buried in the snow for like 3 minutes before they got him out, and that was very scary. Alright, so anyways, my opponent's horses were in range, and when I saw that, I switched my targets to his horses. So my opponent can either go forwards or backwards, and my opponent decides to go forward here. So here's his general. He's going to lead a charge on both wings with his cavalry. So one on this wing and one on the other wing, and I'm going to countercharge with my desert cav. And here is where his general's at, so my guys are going to have a harder time here. And my opponent's going to switch his weapon to the sword, so you can tell that my opponent is micromanaging his units. There I lost 1 desert cavalry unit. So my opponent's eating my guys up on this wing here. So you can see my guys are starting to rout on this wing here. So my opponent's going to proceed to take on the bowmen in my back lines here. We'll take a close-up of this action. But he was successful on this wing, but on the other wing I was successful. So I'm going to take my victorious desert cav here, and I'm going to crash through my opponent's skirmish line. So as you can see, we're racing our cavalry through each other's missile units here. So we're just kind of racing each other. And back here my opponent's Sacred Band cavalry stopped routing, so I'm going to turn back and destroy these guys before they reunite with the other horses of Carthage. And now that I did that, I can proceed about the business of taking out his slingers. And here I brought one of my infantry units back to ward off my opponent's Sacred Band cav from destroying the rest of my bowmen. And I also have a desert cav unit back here who stopped routing, so I'm going to chase his Sacred Band cavalry out of my back lines here. And I'm going to chase him back to the Carthaginian lines, and my opponent's going to try to go back to his lines where he thinks it's safe. But the problem is, I have the rest of my cavalry back here too, so I'm going to sandwich my opponent's cavalry between both of my cavalry wings. So now my cavalry is reunited with each other. And we're going to take on his general from all sides. And if we destroy him, we'll have a morale bonus. Or at least a morale advantage. So there goes his general. And we're going to proceed to take on the opponent's slingers there. And now we're going to start the little heavy infantry engagement. This is the first of it. Here's my my Nile Spearman versus his Sacred Band Spearmen. And even though his guys are facing the wrong way, you can see that my guys are going to have a hard time taking on these Sacred Bands. So I'm going to bring back my cavalry. And we're going to have to use combined arms to take on these very strong Sacred Band Spearmen. And you can see finally they will start to rout. There they go. Okay, so now that that's done, I'm going to send the rest of my cavalry back out to destroy the rest of his slingers. Because because I want to keep his phalanx isolated. And while that's going on, I'm going to take my bowman, and I'm going to take him to the flanks of those Sacred Band spearmen, and I'm going to shower his dudes from the flanks here. And you can see my arrows, they're going to shower his dudes from the sides. And this is where the Sacred Band hoplites are vulnerable. And here's my Desert Cav. They're running down these slingers. And I'm just going to let my horses do their thing right now. And I'm going to concentrate on encircling my opponent's Sacred Band spearmen. So here's my dudes coming from all sides. One-on-one, his guys are going to destroy my Nile spearmen. And even though I have all those upgrades on my Nile spearmen, his dudes are better. So it's a good thing I have my bowmen in the action here, trying to assert themselves. Because without that bowman support, these spearmen would just push right through my spearmen. And here I'm going to get a rear shot on his dudes here with my Nile spearmen. But look at my first set of spearmen here, taking the Sacred Band spearmen head on. They are going to crumble right here from the elite Sacred Band hoplites. So there goes my line of spearmen, but luckily I got my spearmen right behind his dudes, and I'm going to charge him from behind, and that's going to rout his dudes. Now I'm going to take on my opponent's remaining Sacred Band spearmen. He only has 2 units left. And here you can see that my Desert Cav has completed the rout of all of my opponent's slingers, so I can take my Desert Cav back, and I'm going to use combined arms against the remainder of my opponent's troops. And so it's a good thing I'm using all my troops against his, well, minus my chariots, of course. Because otherwise, those those Sacred Band spearmen would be a very big pain in the butt. And finally, his guys were out. So that was a pretty good battle against Avalanche. And that was a clear victory. I had 915 kills, and I had 629 men remaining. Avalanche killed 677 of my guys, and he had 84 men remaining. Very good game to Avalanche. Hope you guys enjoyed this battle.